Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your ability to focus, the very thing that drives your success, your creativity, your learning, has been quietly slipping away. You open your phone just to check one message and suddenly 20 minutes are gone. You sit down to work, but your thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind. You can't remember what you were doing 5 minutes ago, and you wonder, when did it become so hard to simply pay attention? We live in a world that worships productivity, but starves focus. Our attention, once our greatest asset, is now the most valuable currency being stolen from us every second. Every beep, buzz, and scroll isn't just stealing time, it's rewiring your brain to crave distraction, to avoid stillness, to forget what deep thinking even feels like. But here's the truth, your focus isn't broken, it's just untrained, and like a muscle that's been neglected, it can be rebuilt, stronger, sharper, and more resilient than ever before. The ability to concentrate deeply isn't a gift given to a few, it's a skill that can be mastered by anyone willing to train their mind intentionally. So I want to ask you something. What could your life look like if you could focus, truly focus on what matters most? What if, in a world addicted to distraction, you became the one person who could stay calm, clear, and fully present? Because today I'm not just going to talk about focus. I'm going to show you how to build it. We're going to train your brain the way an athlete trains their body. Through simple yet powerful exercises, you'll discover how to silence mental noise, strengthen your concentration, and reclaim control over your most precious resource, your attention. This isn't just about getting more done, it's about getting your mind back. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed, scattered, or lost in the chaos of modern life, stay with me. By the end of this talk, you'll see that focus isn't just the key to productivity, it's the doorway to peace, purpose, and power. Focus is not a gift you're born with, it's a skill you build, it's a muscle, and like any muscle in your body, it gets stronger the more you train it. The truth is, most people never learn how to focus. They learn how to work hard, how to multitask, how to react to things, but not how to direct the full power of their attention on a single goal. Yet every great thinker, creator, athlete, or innovator throughout history has shared one thing in common: the ability to concentrate deeply on what truly matters. When you think about it, the human brain is an incredible organ. It processes billions of bits of information every second, but only a fraction of that enters your conscious awareness. What you focus on determines what becomes real for you. Your focus is the lens through which you see the world. If the lens is scattered, blurred, and unfocused, everything seems chaotic. But when the lens sharpens, clarity appears. You begin to see patterns, possibilities, and solutions that were invisible before. That's why training focus is so powerful. It doesn't just change what you see, it changes who you become. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Notifications, emails, ads, social media, everything is designed to hijack your attention. Each vibration, ping, and pop-up is a tiny interruption that fragments your mind and weakens your ability to concentrate. Over time, this creates what psychologists call attention residue. It means that even when you switch tasks, a part of your mind stays stuck on the previous one, lowering your mental performance. The more you multitask, the more your focus muscle weakens. It's like doing 100 half push-ups instead of 10 full ones. You're busy, but you're not getting stronger. Training focus begins with awareness. You have to notice when your mind wanders. Most people let their attention drift without realizing it. They live in reaction mode, constantly responding to whatever comes next. The key is to reverse that pattern, to move from reaction to intention. When you take back control of where your attention goes, you take back control of your time, your energy, and your results start small. Don't expect yourself to concentrate for hours right away. Begin with just a few minutes of deep focus on one meaningful task. Set a timer if you need to. During that time, give your full attention to what's in front of you. If your mind wanders, and it will gently bring it back without judgment. That's the moment of growth. Each time you bring your attention back, you're doing a mental repetition, strengthening that focus muscle. Over time, your capacity expands. What once felt difficult becomes natural. Also, understand that focus is not just mental, it's physical, emotional, and environmental. A tired body leads to a tired brain. Poor sleep, dehydration, and lack of movement all affect concentration. That's why taking care of your body is part of training your mind. When your energy is high, your focus flows more easily. Emotionally, too, focus thrives on clarity. When you're clear about why something matters, it's easier to give it your full attention. Meaning fuels focus. Creating an environment that supports deep work is another crucial step. Remove temptations. Keep your workspace clean. Silence unnecessary notifications. Design spaces that cue your brain to concentrate. Your surroundings should signal your mind, this is where I focus. When you build habits and environments that align with focus, concentration stops being a struggle. It becomes your default mode. In essence, focus is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Every major achievement in life, whether it's mastering a skill, writing a book, building a business, or improving your health, begins with focus. When you train your ability to concentrate, you're not just improving productivity, you're upgrading your entire brain. You're reclaiming the one thing most people freely give away, their attention. And in a world full of noise, a focused mind becomes your greatest superpower. The 5-minute focus sprint may sound simple, but it's one of the most powerful ways to rebuild your attention in a world overflowing with distractions. Think of it as a workout for your mind, short, intense, and focused. Just like an athlete trains specific muscles through targeted exercises, you can train your brain to hold attention by committing to short bursts of complete concentration. The beauty of this exercise is that it removes the pressure. You're not asked to stay focused for hours. You're only asked for 5 minutes of pure, undivided attention. Here's how it works. You choose one small, clear task, something you can realistically make progress on in a few minutes. It might be reading a page from a book, writing a paragraph, solving a problem, or even practicing a skill. Then you set a timer for 5 minutes. Once that timer starts, your only mission is to give that single activity your full mental presence. No switching tabs, no checking messages, no looking at the clock, just 5 minutes of total focus. In those 5 minutes, something fascinating happens inside your brain. At first, your attention might wobble. You may feel the urge to reach for your phone or glance at your notifications. That's perfectly normal. Your brain has been conditioned by constant stimulation. But each time you resist that urge and gently bring your attention back to the task, you're rewiring your neural pathways. You're teaching your mind that it can stay with one thing without needing a new source of excitement every few seconds. This small act of resistance is how focus grows stronger. Think of your attention span as a battery. If you've spent years multitasking and jumping between apps, that battery drains quickly. The 5-minute focus sprint is like plugging it back into a charger. It's brief enough that your brain doesn't panic or resist, but long enough to stretch your mental endurance. Over time, those short sprints accumulate into real power. What once felt impossible, staying deeply focused for an hour, starts to feel natural. The key to success is consistency, not intensity. You don't need to force long, painful focus sessions. Instead, do these 5-minute sprints multiple times throughout your day. Each session strengthens the neural circuits responsible for sustained attention. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to adapt and grow through practice. The more you practice focusing, the better your brain becomes at it. You might wonder, can something so small really make a difference? The answer is yes, absolutely. Just like a single push up won't transform your body, one sprint won't change your brain overnight, but a series of them, done daily, consistently, will. The 5-minute focus sprint removes the excuse of, I don't have time, or I can't focus that long. Everyone can find 5 minutes. And those 5 minutes multiplied over time reshape your ability to think deeply and act intentionally. To make the exercise even more powerful, create a small ritual before each sprint. Maybe take a deep breath, close your eyes for a moment, and silently tell yourself, for the next 5 minutes, I'm all in. This tells your brain to shift gears from scattered to centered. When the timer ends, take a short pause to celebrate. Notice how it feels to be completely present. That small moment of satisfaction reinforces the habit, making your brain crave that focused state again. As you get better, you can increase the length of your sprints, 10 minutes, then 20, then 30. But never rush the process. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Even professional athletes start small and build up endurance. The same rule applies to your mind. The 5-minute focus sprint is a reminder that control over your attention is possible. You don't have to be a victim of distraction. Every time you sit down, block out the noise, and devote 5 minutes to one task, you're sending a message to your brain, I am in charge. Over time, that message becomes truth. You'll find yourself finishing tasks faster, thinking more clearly, and feeling more in control of your day. The magic of this exercise lies not in its simplicity, but in its consistency. 5 minutes a day can lead to a lifetime of sharper focus. Breathing is one of the most powerful yet underrated tools for training focus. It's the bridge between the body and the mind, something so natural that we often overlook its potential. Every moment you're alive, your body breathes automatically, but when you breathe consciously, you activate parts of your brain responsible for calmness, clarity, and control. The exercise of focusing on a single breath may seem too simple to matter, but simplicity is its strength. It brings you into the present moment where true focus lies. When you close your eyes and take one mindful breath, something subtle begins to happen. The mind, which usually races from one thought to another, starts to slow down. You become aware, not of the noise around you or the endless to-do list, but of the rise and fall of your breath. That awareness anchors you. You start to realize that focus is not about forcing your mind to be still. It's about gently returning it to the present whenever it wanders. Every time you bring your attention back to the breath, you are exercising the muscle of awareness and attention control. Modern life scatters our attention across countless directions. We check our phones, scroll through feeds, respond to messages, and think about 10 things at once. Our minds become like browsers with too many tabs open, slow, noisy, and constantly switching. Breathing meditation acts like a refresh button. It closes all unnecessary tabs and reboots your mental system. You don't need special equipment or a quiet mountain retreat. You just need yourself, a few moments, and your breath. The science behind this is remarkable. When you focus on deep, slow breathing, your body activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for relaxation and balance. Your heart rate slows down, blood pressure stabilizes, and stress hormones decrease. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the brain center for focus, decision making, and emotional regulation, becomes more active. Simply put, breathing creates the ideal internal environment for concentration and learning. It's like switching your brain from survival mode to performance mode. To practice this, find a quiet place, even if it's just for a minute. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take a slow breath in through your nose. Feel the air fill your lungs and expand your chest. Then exhale gently through your mouth, releasing any tension with the breath. Now bring your full attention to the experience. Notice the temperature of the air, the rhythm of the inhale and exhale, the slight pause in between. That's it. Nothing complicated, just awareness. At first, your mind will wander. You'll think about work, food, people, or random memories. When that happens, don't get frustrated. This is where the real training happens. Each time you notice your thoughts drifting and bring them back to your breath, you strengthen the neural pathway for focus. You're teaching your brain that it can observe distractions without obeying them. Over time, this becomes second nature. You'll find it easier to stay focused not only during meditation, but in everyday tasks, reading, studying, or even having conversations. The more you practice mindful breathing, the more you'll notice subtle shifts in your mental state. Stress becomes easier to manage, your reactions slow down, and your clarity sharpens. It's as if the fog in your mind begins to lift, revealing calm and confidence underneath. This is because breathing keeps you in the present moment, and the present moment is the only place where focus exists. You can't concentrate on what's already happened or what hasn't yet come. Focus only thrives in the now. Some people like to pair breathing with a simple word or mantra like focus, peace, or now. As they inhale, they think of the word filling them. As they exhale, they release tension. Others count breaths to maintain awareness, starting with 1 and going up to 10 before repeating. There's no single right way, only what helps you stay connected to the rhythm of your breath. In a world that constantly demands your attention, focusing on your breath is an act of reclaiming your power. You're reminding yourself that clarity doesn't come from doing more. It comes from being more present. The breath is always with you, always available, no matter where you are. It's the simplest, most accessible focus tool you'll ever have. When your mind races or distractions pull you away, just return to one breath. In that moment, everything else fades, and what remains is pure awareness, the foundation of true focus. Multitasking is one of the biggest illusions of productivity in the modern world. People often believe that doing several things at once means they're being efficient, answering messages while attending a meeting, scrolling through emails while working on a project, or checking notifications while studying. But the human brain isn't designed to perform multiple complex tasks simultaneously. What's really happening is not multitasking, but rapid task switching. Each time you switch from one activity to another, your brain has to pause, reorient, and then refocus. That mental shift comes with a cost, a loss of time, energy, and quality. This constant switching weakens your ability to concentrate deeply and leaves you feeling mentally exhausted even after hours of work. Single tasking is the antidote. It's the art of doing one thing at a time with full presence. When you single task, you give your entire attention to the task in front of you. It's not about doing less, it's about doing what matters most better. Single tasking doesn't just improve productivity, it transforms the quality of your thinking, creativity, and emotional well-being. In a world obsessed with speed, focus becomes your secret advantage. When you single task, you enter what psychologists call flow. This is a mental state where time seems to disappear. Distractions fade and you feel fully immersed in what you're doing. Athletes experience it in competition, artists in creation, and entrepreneurs in innovation. It's a zone of deep concentration and effortless action. You can only reach that level of flow when your attention is undivided. Trying to multitask constantly pulls you out of that state, scattering your energy before it can gain momentum. To practice single tasking, start by becoming intentional about what you're doing. Before beginning any activity, pause for a moment and clearly define your focus. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I'm doing right now? That simple question redirects your attention and sets the tone for deep engagement. Then remove or minimize distractions. Close extra browser tabs, silence unnecessary notifications, and put your phone out of reach. Create an environment that supports focus instead of fighting against it. When you sit down to work, treat the task as a commitment. If you're writing, write. If you're eating, just eat. If you're talking to someone, be fully present in the conversation instead of half listening while thinking about your next task. These small habits of presence sharpen your attention and improve your relationships with both people and your work. At first, single tasking may feel uncomfortable because your mind is used to jumping around. You might feel restless or tempted to just check something quickly. That's normal. Your brain has been conditioned by years of distraction. Each time you resist the urge to switch and stay with one task, you're retraining your brain to sustain focus. Over time, you'll notice that your ability to concentrate for longer periods increases naturally. The benefits of single tasking go far beyond productivity. When you focus completely, you make fewer mistakes because your attention isn't divided. You also experience more satisfaction because your mind isn't constantly fragmented. Single tasking brings a sense of calm, clarity, and control that multitasking can never provide. You end your day feeling accomplished rather than drained. Single tasking also deepens learning and memory. When you focus on one thing, your brain's neural pathways strengthen in that specific area, making it easier to recall and apply later. But when you multitask, your attention is too scattered to form strong memory connections. That's why people who multitask frequently often struggle to retain information. Another benefit is emotional balance. When you're fully present in what you're doing, you're less likely to feel anxious about unfinished tasks or upcoming responsibilities. Single tasking anchors you in the present moment. Where worry doesn't exist, you begin to realize that peace of mind isn't about having fewer responsibilities. It's about giving your full self to one moment at a time. Single tasking is not a restriction, it's a liberation. It frees you from the noise of constant stimulation and helps you rediscover the depth of real engagement. The world may reward business, but your brain rewards focus. When you train yourself to single task, you stop chasing time and start mastering it. You produce better work in less time, think more clearly, and live more intentionally. So the next time you're tempted to juggle multiple tasks, pause, take a breath, choose one thing, and give it your all. Whether it's a project, a conversation, or a quiet moment, let it have your full attention. Because the truth is, greatness doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing one thing fully, completely, and with your whole mind engaged. Your environment shapes your mind more than you might realize. The spaces you live and work in constantly send signals to your brain about how to think, feel, and behave. If your surroundings are filled with clutter, noise, and distractions, your focus will mirror that chaos. But when your environment is designed intentionally, when it's clean, quiet, and supportive of your goals, your mind naturally becomes calmer and more concentrated. The idea of creating a no distraction zone isn't about building walls around yourself. It's about building a space where your brain feels safe to focus, free from the constant tug of interruptions. Every beep, buzz, and notification you get steals a little bit of your attention. You may think you can ignore them, but even the smallest sound forces your brain to shift gears for a split second. Those tiny moments of distraction add up, fragmenting your mental energy throughout the day. Research shows it can take up to 20 minutes to fully refocus after an interruption. That's why so many people feel exhausted even after hours of work. Their attention is constantly being pulled apart. To build a no distraction zone, start by taking control of your physical environment. Begin with your workspace. Look around and ask yourself what truly supports your focus and what doesn't. Remove anything that doesn't serve the task at hand. A clean desk signals to your brain that it's time to think clearly. Natural light, plants, and even subtle scents can enhance alertness and calmness. Every item in your space should have a purpose. Either it inspires you or helps you work better. If it doesn't, it's clutter. Next, take control of your digital environment. Your phone, computer, and devices are powerful tools, but they're also your biggest sources of distraction. Turn off non-essential notifications, especially from social media and messaging apps. If possible, keep your phone out of sight while working. The mere presence of a phone on your desk, even when it's silent, has been shown to reduce focus and cognitive performance because a part of your brain stays alert, waiting for the next ping. When you need deep focus, put your phone in another room or use Do Not Disturb mode. Another powerful strategy is to create a ritual that signals to your brain it's time to enter focus mode. Just as athletes warm up before a game, your brain needs cues to prepare for deep work. Maybe it's making a cup of tea, lighting a candle, listening to instrumental music, or simply taking a few deep breaths before you begin. When you repeat this ritual consistently, your brain associates it with concentration, making it easier to slip into that state faster. Your environment also includes the people around you. Set boundaries with those who might interrupt your work time. Communicate clearly that, during certain hours, you're in focus mode and shouldn't be disturbed unless necessary. You can even use visual cues, like wearing headphones or closing your door, to signal that you're unavailable. Protecting your focus is not about isolating yourself, it's about respecting your time and energy enough to give them the conditions they need to thrive. Over time, your no distraction zone becomes more than just a physical space, it becomes a mental one. The moment you enter it, your brain automatically shifts into a more attentive, purposeful state. This consistency helps you train your mind to associate that environment with clarity, just as walking into a gym primes your body for movement. Eventually, you'll find that even when you're outside that space, your ability to focus remains stronger because your brain has learned what deep concentration feels like. Creating such an environment is an act of self-respect. It's telling yourself, my goals matter enough for me to protect the space in which I pursue them. The world will always be noisy. That's something you can't control. But what you can control is the way you respond to that noise. You can choose to curate your surroundings so that they serve your focus rather than sabotage it. When your space supports your goals, you no longer have to fight for concentration. It comes naturally. The distractions don't disappear, but their pull weakens. You feel lighter, calmer, and more in control. And in that stillness, discover that focus isn't just about discipline, it's about design. A well-designed environment becomes your silent partner in success, guiding you toward clarity and helping you perform at your highest potential every single day. Your brain is not a machine that can run endlessly without rest. It functions in cycles, alternating between periods of high concentration and recovery. Understanding and respecting these natural rhythms is key to achieving peak mental performance. That's where the $50 10 focus cycle comes in, a simple yet powerful method to sustain deep focus, boost productivity, and protect your mental energy throughout the day. It's not about working harder, but about working smarter in harmony with how your brain is designed to operate. Most people try to force themselves to focus for hours on end, believing that more time equals more results. But the opposite is often true. Your attention span naturally begins to wane after about 45 to 60 minutes of continuous effort. Beyond that, mental fatigue sets in, errors increase, and creativity drops. The 50-10 focus cycle works because it aligns with your brain's natural ultradian rhythm, the 90 to 120 minute cycles of alertness and rest that govern your body's energy levels. By taking short breaks before exhaustion hits, you allow your brain to reset, refuel, and return stronger for the next round of focus. Here's how it works for 50 minutes. You give your full, undivided attention to one specific task. No multitasking, no switching tabs, no checking messages, just deep intentional focus. This is your deep work window where you challenge your mind to stay present and engaged. You might set a timer to track the session, creating a sense of structure and commitment. During this time, your only goal is progress, not perfection. You're training your brain to stay in the zone, sharpening its ability to sustain attention without giving into distraction. Once the 50 minutes are up, you step away for 10 minutes. This is your reset phase, and it's just as important as the focus itself. Stand up, stretch, hydrate, take a short walk, or practice slow breathing. These small actions help clear the mental buildup that occurs during intense concentration. They also increase blood flow and oxygen to the brain, improving alertness for the next round. What you should avoid during this break is scrolling through your phone or diving into another mentally demanding task. Your brain needs genuine rest, not a different kind of stimulation. Over time, this rhythm of focus and rest becomes a powerful habit. It helps you stay productive for longer periods without burning out. You'll notice that your mind feels sharper, your ideas come more easily, and you end the day with energy left over rather than feeling drained and distracted. It's the difference between sprinting and pacing yourself for a marathon. The 50-10 cycle helps you balance intensity with recovery so you can sustain high performance day after day. Another hidden benefit of this method is clarity. When you commit to working in defined time blocks, you start prioritizing what truly matters. You learn to break large goals in smaller, manageable pieces that fit neatly into each session. This creates a sense of accomplishment that fuels motivation. You stop working reactively and start working intentionally with a clear plan for each focus window. To make this technique even more effective, end each 50-minute session with a quick reflection. Ask yourself, what did I achieve? What can I improve in the next cycle? This 1-minute habit strengthens awareness and helps you refine your focus strategy over time. You'll begin to notice patterns when your energy peaks, when it dips, and how to schedule your most demanding tasks accordingly. Your brain, much like your muscles, grows through cycles of effort and recovery. The mistake many people make is believing that rest is the opposite of work. It's not Rest is part of the work. It's what allows your mind to consolidate information, make creative connections, and maintain clarity. By embracing the 50x10 focus cycle, you give your brain permission to perform at its best without the cost of exhaustion. Imagine ending each day not feeling drained, but fulfilled, knowing that you gave your best energy to your most important goals. That's the power of aligning with your brain's natural rhythm. It's a simple structure, but within that structure lies freedom, the freedom to focus deeply, think clearly, and create meaningfully. The 50-10 focus cycle is not just a productivity hack, it's a mindset of balance. It's a reminder that success doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing with purpose, in rhythm with the way your brain was meant to work.